Here we have a 5R55 transmission out of a Mustang. This Mustang, if you can see, has a supercharger on it. There's a pulley sticking out of the hood. That supercharger is a positive displacement style Magna charger, and basically what's happened is the supercharger is making enough power that it's pulling through the clutch components and the friction components in this transmission. This thing came in with no second gear. You can see the gear band is decimated. Also shows slippage on the clutches. These clutches, just so you can get a perspective, there's my finger, there's the clutches. I've seen bigger clutches in motorcycles, so we're trying to make these clutch components hold up in a 500 horsepower application. Becomes quite a challenge. One of the areas that can be addressed is the solenoid pack is basically what's going to be a big factor in determining how the clutch application process takes place. In addition to the valve body, you can make these apply processes take place more quickly with more holding power. You still have some limitations. The limitations are the capacity of the component. So there's three main variables as far as holding power. One is the coefficient of friction, two is the surface area, and three is the application pressure that's applying said friction component. Increasing the hydraulic application pressure will increase the holding power. Increasing the coefficient of friction between the friction component and the component that's applying to will increase the holding power. So with this low capacity transmission, it's going to have to be a combination of multiple factors, friction materials, and also application process and application pressure. Unfortunately, this was a transmission that was used for several years in the Mustangs. They went from the 4R70 to this transmission, which had a hard time, quite frankly, surviving in Ford Explorers. So, we're going to do everything within our power to make the capacity of the transmission able to survive the power output. In addition, there's a billet, 300M input shaft that's supposed to be add some capacity here. Unfortunately, dimensionally, you're limited with many of these components. This planet carrier, zero drive planet carrier, very similar dimensionally to the planet carrier in the A4LD. Here's your sprag assembly. The sprag assembly rides on this hub on the overdrive planet carrier. So unfortunately, you're limited dimensionally with these parts. So you try to embrace any technique you can, including solenoid pack modifications, valve body modifications, friction material modifications, and hopefully between the control changes and the material changes and the components, we'll be able to make this thing hold up.